Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. Now guys, I wonder how much longer you'll be able to hear my voice saying hello to you and welcoming you to the channel, because it looks as though Malam Buhari is now sending his goons after social media personalities who are critical of his government. So guys, I bring you this: DSS arrests social media users for inciting violence. So that's the headline. DSS, that's the Department of State Security, arrest social media users for inciting violence. So here's the body of the story. The Department of State Services, so not State Security but Services, so the Department of State Services has arrested yet to be identified social media users who post inciting materials and misleading statements. This was disclosed in a statement released by Peter Afunaya, DSS Public Relations Officer. The statement reads in part: the Department of State Services DSS has observed with concern the deliberate plots and attempts by some subversive and undemocratic elements to incite or pit one ethnic group against the other by stoking the embers of tribal sentiments to cause disaffection and violence across the country. These unpatriotic actors make unguarded public statements and/or use social media platforms to instill fear in the minds of citizens. These are reflected in the misleading statements and articles being circulated amongst unsuspecting members of the public. Such inciting materials oftentimes are designated to make or convey false accusation by one group against the other. They also result to skewing historical narratives to suit their objective of masterminding ethnic violence in the nation. So far, some of the culprits have been arrested. Community leaders and persons of influence are, therefore, enjoined to be more responsible in their utterances as well as rein in their people for national cohesion and peaceful coexistence. Aggrieved persons and groups are encouraged to use dialogue as a true means of non-violent resolution of disputes or any misunderstanding. So there you have it. Buhari is now saying that the social media is shut down in Nigeria and any criticism of his government is subject to arrest, and is now followed this up by arresting some personalities who are obviously critical of his government, because I suspect that whoever is making these comments that they are considering as misguided and misrepresenting are critical, are not complimentary rather of his government, because obviously comments that are complimentary of his government would not be deemed as being unguarded or of national security risk. So obviously comments that are critical of his government and pointing out the ethnic divide in the leanings of the Buhari regime, when it's all Malami all the way through for the last 4 years and it's going to be Malami all the way through for the next 4 years. Everybody that is pointing out this obvious thing, including Obasanjo, who has also mentioned this, so we're now waiting for the arrest of Obasanjo as well, because Obasanjo is also pointing this out. So if they can arrest Joe Public, then they should go arrest Obasanjo as well, because he's never shy in coming forward with this sort of statements. So now Malam Buhari is now cracking down on social media in Nigeria. So Decree 4 has been brought back from the 80s now to 2019. So the dictatorship is now taking firm footing in Nigeria, and if you think that 2023 is going to be your rescue time, then you can think again, because this guy is just going to be there for as long as he is able to, he has physicality to be able to be there. So really, there's just dark clouds gathering around that country, and every news that comes out of the Buhari regime is even more dark clouds pervading the firmament of the country. So criticism of the government is no longer now allowed in the Nigerian space. That is effectively what the Department of State Services has now stated, and of course they would not have done this without the explicit or implicit consent and guidance and authorization of the presidency. So effectively, this is what Buhari is saying, that you are not allowed free speech in Nigeria anymore, and if you think that you're entitled to free speech in Nigeria, you go attempt to speak freely in Nigeria, and the consequences that's befalling these unfortunates that have been arrested is likely to befall you. So conversations in the comment section: free speech in Nigeria under a dictatorship of this Malami extremist. This is the topic of conversation for this channel, for this particular video, should I say. So come join me in the comment section to have this conversation. But before you come join me in the comment section to have this conversation, click on the red subscribe button so it turns gray, bell button, that way you are notified every time I drop a new video. Then come talk to me about free speech in Nigeria in the comment section. So I'll leave you here, meet you there, but here I say peace.